And I'm happy that she's able to be here today because that way, those of us who've been ringing by the seat of our pants, because that's all I knew to give them. I had a lot of helpful hints from Patty and from Allie, which has been wonderful, and from Chris, who's not here. He's battling chronic disease, so he comes when he can. And then,
I don't know, I'm going to
watch
tell her
out.
too.
Yeah, watch out. Watch out. So she's going to direct our choir. So this young lady, that's Lorraine, she's new. So
I'm not good with names.
That's okay.
I was gonna wear my name tattoo edition.
And Betsy is new. So these three people have had no
Oh,
instruction.
that's okay.
Yeah, so
We are all good. We are not going to worry about it.
That's right.
at
We're going to
all.
get the new information together. And so,
Well, I am Jeannie Jessup. I am from Englewood. I'm from Community Presbyterian Church there, where right now I have 3 choirs. I also ring with Ring Sarasota, which is an advanced handbell choir directed by Rick Ellsworth. And I ring in Distinctly Bronze, which is a national audition-only choir sponsored by the Guild. The Guild is your guild as a handbell musician, and that's the key. Yes, your church calls you the Dingalings. I have a gentleman in my church whom I love dearly, but every time we walk down the aisle, he goes, oh, there goes my favorite head dingaling. But you are a musician. We happen to be playing one of the newest instruments in the orchestra. We're part of the percussion section in the orchestra. New in comparison to violins or organs or even wind instruments have been around just short of forever. Now the truth of the matter is that bells have been around forever too, in some form or another. You know, or sound by striking things if it was 2 sticks, or rocks. Rocks were pitched. If you ever played with rocks and banged them together, they have different pitches. You know, in times when they used to hang little bells outside their door, and before you entered the house, you would ring the bell to ward off the evil spirits. And then all the cathedrals in the towns had tower bells. And they did what is called change ringing, where they'd have to pull the rope and you'd have to time it just exactly right so that your bell went clang at the right time. We're going to talk about that more a little bit later, because there was a pattern you had to play. Now when they rang those tower bells, it's a little bit of handbell history for you to start with today. It said to the people in the village, get thee to the church now. There was something wrong. Fire, death in the village, church service were under attack, among other things. So therefore, they couldn't practice. Because if we practiced, everybody, it's like the little boy that called wolf, you know. Everybody came to church and they were not happy campers, which led to the development of handbells. Because then we could practice our patterns. Now, if you think about these villages at the time, they didn't have a YMCA. You know, they only had the local pub. And that's where all the handbell ringers went to practice. We're very good at that now, today, too. You know, ring 3 or 4 hours, and where does everybody go after rehearsal? But I don't let them take any bells. I need to go with her. Handbells were first developed in England in a foundry called Whitechapel Foundry, which is still in existence today. That's about 400 years ago. It's a teeny tiny little building 4 stories high in London. Little, I mean narrow. It's really small. I was dumbfounded by how small it is. Their bells are different than ours. I'm going to steal your bell. Our clappers are recessed so that, and I hate to see this, it's just if you'd like, you can stand your bell like this and it's out of the way. Their clappers extend beyond the lip of the bell. They're a wooden ball, and in that ball there is a piece of leather and it is the leather that strikes the bell. Their handles are also leather. They still are today. And with the dollar to the pound, they're quite pricey. They have a slightly different tone quality than the bells that we're used to playing here in the States. They also, in England, tend to, I'm not sure this bell, it will, they back ring. We call it a back ring. We ring forward, they'll pick their bells up this way and back ring. I'll give it back usually. Sometimes I forget, you say, oh, you didn't give me my bell. But we're going to pretend, so bear with me, those of you that have ringing, that you know nothing. I'm going to start at the very, very, very beginning. And we're going to just go with, we know nothing. Let's see what we can learn. I'm going to get my own bell so I don't keep stealing someone else's bell. We sure would like a non-sharp or flat. I'm getting your favorite bell that you don't like the sound of.
I find the high bells very harsh, and I'm into that, that's all. It is nice.
When we do the stroke, well, let's start with the beginning. Take your dominant hand. I don't care if it's your right hand or your left hand. No bell. And I want you to put your hand like this, like I'm going to bend down and pick up a suitcase. You know, the handle of a suitcase. Pick up a bell in your non-dominant hand. You still have this one sitting out here. And we're going to seat the bell. And we simply take the bell and seat it in that opening. It really only takes your thumb and your pointer finger to hold the bell. Don't turn the handle. Look at your handle. That's it. So that you have the flat part by your fingers, and hold on to it with those two fingers. I put my hand down and my bell's not going to fall. I'll get it.
It's like a pincer action.
Right. Because it's with these fingers that you're going to get the bell to be able to strike.
It's a little harder with the bigger bells. Yeah, you're pushing with your fingers on that.
Very good. Now my question for you is, where's the sound coming from? All right, she thinks the sound's coming from here. This is what I'd like you to do. Just watch. I'd like you to ring the bell and go like that. All right, now I'd like you to ring the bell, watch, and go like this.
In the back.
Where's the sound coming from?
Right here.
From the sides.
Uh-huh.
So when I see, does this stand go down lower?
Yes, just push hard.
Oh,
It's
never mind. I'll
got
just
tape
back
on
up.
it. It's got tape on it.
When I see bell ringers, and they're all standing, I'm gonna walk off the end, and they're all standing nice and just watch. When I said to them, they go like this. And I'm thinking, well, that's a lovely sound for the ceiling. It's a lovely sound for the floor. When I work with adults, I tell them, in your bell is the most expensive bottle of French wine. It was like $450 for this puny little bottle. You put your bell like this,
You don't lose it.
Empty.
just give me the $450 next time, because I'll drink the wine and not lose it. Don't spill anything. If I'm working with children, I tell them there's juice or soda in there, so that your bell always stays upright. Use your fingers. See my fingers? Use your fingers against the handle.
Like that.
Yep. Use your fingers. See my fingers?
See, another reason not to have a death grip on it. See, no, people tend to want to do this.
Notice that when I do this, pretty much my arm's not moving. Just watch. I have my bell seated. I am really hanging on to it. Okay? Use your fingers. That's it. The stroke for a bell is like a capital D. So if we start at the top. This is our prep. We bring it down, we strike, and we follow it through. And I'm ready to prep my next beat. Down. Don't tip your bell. Don't tip your bell.
Not too far.
Right. So I start at the top, down, and put the belly on the D. Bells are never stagnant. I always tell my bell choir, what is this, the Statue of Liberty? Bells are always, always in motion. And you need to use your peripheral vision so that everybody's motion is the same size. So we're going to do it in whole notes, and I'm going to direct it. We're going to ring on 1, 2. We're going to ring 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Ready? Everybody. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Slower. Finish your circle. 2, 3. See how at the peak of my circle, my belly on the D, I'm all the way up here by my shoulder. I'm not here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Don't stand still. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to try half notes. That means there's going to be one ring on 1 and ring on 3, which means my circle can't quite be that big. 1, 2, 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make your circles like everybody else so you look good. Okay, here's your quote for the day. Somebody need that's it. Bells are visual. Excuse me, they make a sound. What the heck is she talking about, you know? How can they be visual? We're using our ears to listen to them. You have to look like what you're ringing. Is not pretty. Is not pretty. 1, 2, 3, 4. Together. 2, 3. As a group. Perfect. See the difference? Now we're going to ring quarter notes. We're going to ring on 1, we're going to ring on 2, we're going to ring on 3, we're going to ring on 4. Ooh, my circle must get a little smaller. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't tip your bell. Whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Half notes coming up. 4, 1, 2. Don't tip your bell so much. That's it. Taking away the tip. Every time, no matter where I teach, I've taught at state festivals, I've taught in other churches, is the hardest thing to get used to. Years ago, we used to say, flip your wrist. Oh, that's really a bad thing to say nowadays. As terminology changes. It's bad because you could develop carpal tunnel from overextending, you know. So concentrate on keeping your bell up. It will keep the sound going in the right direction. It will make you look better, and it's easier with your peripheral vision to match your neighbors. And you have no idea how good that looks. It just looks so good. Now take your bell and put it in your non-dominant hand. We have all right-handed people today. Same thing. See the bell, hang on to it, and we're going to try those whole notes. 3, 4. 1. Don't tip your bell so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. Watch the speed of the circle next to you. Don't freeze. 1, 2. My bell is moving. Your bell is moving. You get this far, it's like, I'm done with my circle. Don't be done. Make it bigger for this whole note. I switched my bell, I'm sorry. Ready? 1, 2, slower. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't tip your bell so much.
I just want to say
Question.
one thing, that the three of you that are here haven't developed bad habits that I was unable to give the other people. So that's wonderful, and the rest of us, we'll
Have
break
to
our habits and do
relearn it
undo it.
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes it's not ringing. Is that because I'm not pushing with my fingers enough, or something I'm doing it?
Do you have a symbol on top?
This needs to be on the upside.
It is. She's all right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Symbol.
symbol.
Oh, yeah, I see.